So when you want to deploy a wireless mesh system to this managed router deployment in this customer's home, the thing you'll do is head over to wireless, and you'll see here that we have two modes to select from: add wireless mesh or add wired extender. And once you pick one mode, you can't switch to the other mode. So once we are going to say that we're going to use wireless mesh, the thing to keep in mind is that this is only available if all of the MikroTiks in the home are AC units. So that's the HAP AC Lite, HAP AC, CAP AC, WAP AC. So any of those units can be mesh, and they will dedicate the 5 gig radio for backhaul for this network. And 2.4 gig radio will be for facing customer devices. So if you try and click wireless mesh right before you set any of the frequency items, you're going to get an error that says, please fill out and submit the 5G settings before trying to add a mesh unit. So let's go ahead and do that. And the reason we do that is so that you can ensure that you're not going to interfere with your own service by selecting appropriate values for channel width and frequency on the 5 gig radio. So the 5 gig radio must be enabled. You have to select the channel width and the frequency. So you can't use auto when doing mesh. So all we do is select a frequency and hit update. And after a couple of seconds, that's going to push those changes down to the managed router real time. And when we get dropped back at the main screen, we'll be able to click wireless again and jump back in there and hit the add wireless mesh button. And this time it will generate a license for us. It's going to say license added. We'll say okay. It's going to refresh the screen again and jump back to the managed router. So once that managed router has been configured for mesh, you can then add mesh units to it, and you can add as many wireless meshes as you need to. But when we're ready to deploy the next mesh unit to this deployment, the thing to do is to click on the blue license ID, and the licenses will be numbered based on the main unit number with a dot designator and then the sub-license number. And the best thing to do is update the system name with the location in the house that this mesh unit's going to be placed at. So maybe we call this one kitchen and click update hardware. If you wanted to limit this managed router further, you can set some download speeds and upload speeds, or if you wanted to set some SNMP information, we could limit those further. Otherwise, it's just going to inherit whatever the main unit settings are. When this is ready to deploy to the managed router service in this home, the thing to do is click download, and we'll apply this license in the same way that we deploy a managed router main unit. The slightly different configuration setting here is that on extenders and mesh units, we need to connect to the router, do a system reset with no defaults. And so we'll go ahead and connect to the router using Winbox, logging in with admin and no password, click System, Reset Configuration, and then make sure that no default configuration is set, and then click Reset and Confirm. And the thing to keep in mind is that after that router reboots, you will need to be physically connected to it, so that what's going to happen is that it's going to disable the Wi-Fi radios. So you'll have to physically be cabled to that router in order to right-click, copy, and paste this information into the router after it's reset. And again, please be sure to use right-click, copy, and paste, and not Control-C and Control-V, as those are special commands to MikroTik. Once you paste this information into the mesh unit, it will connect to the mesh master, and you'll see it come online up in the router status, go to updating firmware, updating provisioning, and once it's ready, you'll get a green light that it's ready to deploy to the customer.